Hey everyone, Rob from Southgate Media Group here. Before we get started with this podcast, we have a quick message. If this is your first time checking out the show, we love that you found us and we really hope you enjoy it. What we have to say is for the subscribers. If you enjoy our shows, would you please donate to help keep these going? We don't want to have to put traditional ads on these shows, but this does cost money. So we really do rely heavily on donations. To make a donation to the show, please go to our website, www.southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the page for the show, and in the upper right-hand corner is a donate button. It takes you right to PayPal, and you can donate whatever amount you want. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. And now on with the show.
Like I said, I think Marvel has done a lot. I won't say they're the best or the brightest, but I think they've done a lot to push female heroes and female characters and to open up comics to a lot of people. But when it comes to marketing, when it comes to t-shirt sales, I think that they're in the same spot as everybody. And it's this idea that we can make a Black Widow figure, but is it going to sell?
Right.
Or is it going to wind up being sold through? And it's the Princess Leia problem. Sure, you and I, we as adults, we love Princess Leia, not necessarily because she shoots lasers well.
No, I can think of two reasons I like her. Before we go on, hold on. Alil, you're here, right?
I am here.
Hey, Alil. Welcome to the
Hey,
party.
Alil.
If you can't tell, it's gotten very serious around here.
I can tell. We're talking about how women are not portrayed on any products. And I got an example. I don't know if you guys talked about it yet, but my kids are having, my twins, I have a boy and a girl twin, and they're having a Guardians of the Galaxy birthday party.
Okay.
And although my girl twin loves Groot, and that's kind of her character, that's why she wanted to do the party this way. And my son, of course, is all about Rocket Raccoon. But my oldest daughter loves Gamora, and I bought all the party plates, napkins, tablecloths, and everything. And Gamora is nowhere to be found outside of one set of napkins.
Really? I was just talking about how on my Avengers shirt, Black Widow's left off.
Well, she's on my shirt. I actually have an Avengers shirt, and she's on mine.
Oh, good for you. I got the cheap one. But you know what? That's crazy. And we got a little set of Guardians of the Galaxy toys. They're these real small. They're not the regular 3 1/4 inch.
Oh, the new 2.5 inch scale. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate those.
Yeah, I hate them too. But it's what I got. And that had Star-Lord, Gamora, and Groot in one pack. And then it had Rocket and some and a Nova Corps guy and something else in the other. The only one it's missing is Drax. So
yeah, he gets left out too. Gamora actually.
But Gamora is more of a main character than Drax, in my opinion. She should not be left out in any way.
I agree with that, but it's just weird because because Walmart, when the movie came out, had all these a big promotional display of pillows and cups and pajamas and
those
all
this
pillows. Stuff. So yeah,
I got you on that one.
You got me on it. So we were looking for it, and all the kids wanted something, but they had nothing Gamora. Even on the pajamas, my son has, no Gamora. They didn't have a pillow with her. They had a fleece blanket, no Gamora. So my oldest was upset. Although they did do a pretty decent job in representing her, better than I think Black Widow was in the initial toy lines, because in the 6-inch line they did have a Gamora, they did have a Funko Pop Gamora, which I own both of those, although the figure is terrible.
Show off.
Well, that's who I am.
But I have the Blu-ray and the 6-inch
give you the
figure.
counterpoint to that. And this is the thing. And like I say, it's a great Grace Randolph who does a great video podcast about movies and things and comic book related items. Got into a lot of huff with Marvel about their treatment of the character Black Widow. I there's a like, it's like a what we used to call a 5 and dime, but it's called Deals. It's a a $1 to $5 store
Right.
up the street from my house, and you find so much Black Widow merchandise there because it's sell through. You find
Right.
these little icons and little toys that they couldn't sell them with the regular items, so they get knocked down to the cheaper stores.
Right,
And
they didn't move like the other ones.
Can you go back there and buy them all and ship them to me? That would be appreciated.
yeah, it's two things. They don't make a lot of them, and then when they do what they do make, they don't sell very well. And it's everyone, I have no problem with a Black Widow toy, but at the same time, with a lot of kids, I'm sure that a lot of kids,
Yeah, but I don't believe that though, because they had a Black Widow figure in the 3 3/4 inch line, and that sold out, and that was one of the hardest ones to find. They brought out a Black Widow figure in the Marvel Legends Captain America Winter Soldier 6-inch line, and that for the longest time was the hardest one to find. Yeah. And even now that they've re-released it again, it's a figure that you cannot find on the shelf.
Yeah, but are they producing them in like lower quantities though than the other ones?
Right? Is it short packed or?
Well, I think the 6-inch one was short packed. I mean, most of them are. But even if you're talking about female characters, like the Spider-Man line had the Black Widow character, and then it was swapped out for the black costumed Spider-Woman figure character, and those sold out all over the place as well. I do think that there is, and Wasp is another one. Wasp is a figure that came on the 3 3/4 inch line and is also sold out and is also one of the hardest figures to find. And even in the old Marvel Legends line, she holds a lot of value. And I agree. Again, they were probably short packed. They can't give it, because no matter what, you're going to get like 3-to-1 on a Captain America figure because it is Captain America's movie.
Right, because it's Captain America. Right.
But I mean, these figures were well sought out, and I have a bunch of them. But again, I have them for my girls, and my boys play with them. My boys. I have one. Well, I play with them as well. But
yeah, I know what boys you mean.
Your wife's boys.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
But I think Marvel is changing with that tone. I do think if we were talking about this when that first Avengers movie kicked off, yes, that was it. But I do see that changing as the years have progressed, because I'm seeing more female characters popping out and more their shirts, toys, and whatever. I mean, I still do see that they have, when they're trying to sell a mass product, they're going to go with, the all male characters because they know little boys are going to wear it. I understand that. But
here's the question though. If they made a Black Widow movie, don't you think those toys featuring Black Widow would sell great? Because in Guardians, Star-Lord is the main character, and Groot and Rocket kind of overshadowed. That's why Gamora kind of went to the side. If she's not the main character, in Cap 2, Black Widow is not the main character, so I understand why they short pack her. But if they made a Black Widow movie and put a line of toys out of Black Widow and actually did it the way they do these other lines, where you get, a deeper line with different outfits and different things, I think that would sell just as well. I really do.
But that may also explain why they haven't done a Black Widow movie yet.
Why? Because they're afraid of doing that?
It's not toyetic enough?
Well, yeah, because...
Toyetic, nice!
It's a great word. I did you coin that, or did you read that somewhere?
No, he stole it. This is a Lil.
I'm sorry.
I would say you coined it.
Just because I'm gypsy, doesn't mean no.
Right.
No, I've heard it used before in the past. I'm talking like years and years. I mean, when they talk about Star Wars, and the reason why Batman never did well in the stores is because the movies weren't toyetic. I think I heard that back like in '92 for Batman Returns.
That was actually a big problem for superhero toys in general, because I used to really collect back in the 80s and 90s, and it was, Star Wars toys ruled, and I would search for superhero toys, and they had a real hard time, like, getting the figures right, knowing what to do with them. It wasn't until more recently that they really upped the game, and like the stuff, the Marvel Legends stuff, and I remember where it really changed for me was when DC put out that line that was only in comic stores. Do you remember that line, Alil? It was a high end line, kind of like Marvel Legends in that, where it was like just their like Legends figures.
Yeah,
and
they had
the sculpts were amazing, and they were the larger size. What is that, 5.5 or 6-inch format?
I think there were 6-inch figures.
That's where I went like, oh wow, they're finally doing superheroes the right way. And since then, we keep seeing that.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I mean, when you go to the legend that I keep on putting out there that, you know, Guardians made its money back with the T-shirts alone, it becomes this real question for, you know, the studios when they're saying, okay, are we going to sell enough Black Widow T-shirts to finance this film? Because, you know, making films really, oddly enough, doesn't seem to be, as a film itself, a money-making prospect in our modern world.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what you make money off of is all of these ancillary products. And
right, but I go back to depending on what they're looking at for the budget. See, the thing is like you said with Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy's budget was $200+ million. So they need these T-shirts and these items to also recoup, because you're looking at a movie that's going to have to make 3 times its budget to be a profitable movie, you know, worldwide. But a Black Widow movie these days, I mean, you look at like the budget for Lucy, which I believe, and don't quote me on this, I don't have everything up.
No, wait, let me write this down. I'm quoting you in the blog.
I believe it was around $30 to $40 million.
This just in, a lil's wrong, but no, we'll save that for the blog.
Well, let me say, as a person who went out and saw Lucy when it came out, because love ScarJo, really want to see that Black Widow film, and was happy to be part of what made Lucy a #1 film. You know, it was not a Black Widow film, and the action sequences were not the kind of impressive action sequences that you would expect from a Black Widow film. And, you know, so yeah, you could make a Lucy for maybe $30 million or however much it was. I don't think you could make a Black Widow film for that. I think a Black Widow film in many ways might wind up being more expensive than the Guardians of the Galaxy, because you're not going to be able to do as much CGI. You're going to have, you know, stunt women and stunt men, you know.
But that's actually cheaper these days. Good CGI costs a ton of money. I mean, I again, if I could pull up my figures, I could tell you, like, per minute, per clip, they're talking about, I mean, this is why these studios, these budgets are ballooning for these movies. And Lucy did cost $40 million to make. And I agree with you. I'm not saying that all the stunts and all the fight scenes are going to be are as good as they were in Lucy, but again, you add a few more, maybe you balloon the budget $20 more million, because you're going to need a better fight choreographer and a few stunt people, but you're going to have a less CG world in that movie. And I think you can make a good, because it's a spy story if they make one for Black Widow. She's not just this all-around badass martial artist. She's a spy, and it's what she can
but at
do,
the same
how
time,
she can
so
blend,
much of,
how she can. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so much of film going in general is the spectacle. I mean, you know, when you have, you know, I don't see James Bond films coming in for under $100 million. You know, I mean that's sort of where I'm taking it. So, you know, we do a Black Widow film. Yeah, let's say it's a straight up, you know, James Bond kind of film, a lot of close quarters fighting, a lot of car chases. Those are expensive. And there is a lot more CGI in those fight scenes and car chases than you might expect. And so in many ways, you kind of have like the worst of both worlds, where you have really a lot of CGI that has to look hyper real because you're pairing it with real people interacting with it. And you also have to have real trained professionals going in there, choreographing and doing these amazing Jackie Chan style moves that are, you know, and wire fights that are going to be, you know, difficult to shoot, you know, and that need to be caught on film, that can't just necessarily be generated in the computer. It's, you know, and that's, I mean, and trust me, there is nothing I would like to see better than a Black Widow film, but I do note that their official first female star is Captain Marvel, which may be a more space adventure situation where you're going to have more. And here's, so if films, cinematic films are about spectacle, if you do a sci-fi spectacle, you have a lot more spectacle that isn't moving very much, because you're doing starscapes and spaceships and big, gigantic landscapes of alien worlds that you don't have to have that much detail on, compared to a spy world where you're doing that, you have to do all that same kind of CGI fight stuff, and that's what has to replace the spectacle. You have to have that. You can't just have a moment where you go, oh wow, look at that big gigantic space cruiser or that alien sunset. You've got to say, no, let's just see Scarlett Johansson kicking people, in the teeth with her high heels on,
Yeah, I think you're right, because it's like, if they're going to spend $100 million anyway, what are you going to do? Another spy movie like Captain America 2, or are you going to do a Iron Man, or Thor, even a Captain Marvel?
Right.
And really, and let's think about how much CGI there really is in Captain America 2. I mean, there weren't real those weren't Quinjets and helicarriers they were on. That's all CGI stuff, and yet they have to make it look real enough that when a real person is standing next to it, it doesn't look fake.
Right.
But you're not going to need all that for a Black Widow solo film. I mean,
no,
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. But I think if you look at her being like James Bond, and you're going to that, I mean, Skyfall, that budget was $200 million, but you don't need all of that for a Black Widow movie. You need more than Lucy. But at $100 million, could this movie make its money back? Yeah, easily. I don't think that would be even a problem worldwide, because she's a known commodity.
Right.
And again, you look at just Ant-Man itself. Ant-Man is not getting the toy line that the Avengers is getting. They're getting like a Diamond Select line. He's getting my guess is the shirts will not be the way they were for Guardians of the Galaxy. And even Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of that stuff came out a little bit later when it started to hit even bigger.
Yeah.
Because and here's the problem also. You look at Guardians of the Galaxy now, go to most of these stores, all of it's on clearance. And trust me, I know.
Well, yeah, because when it was a hit, they overordered it.
Exactly. And then because it was a hit and people were looking for it, they couldn't find it. And now that it's out, everybody's already got something and they don't need it. I mean, we bought all our kids shirts for their party in a couple weeks for $3.
Wow.
Each.
Where'd you get that?
Disney Store, and you can go to Disney Store online. They have a bunch of stuff. Even a plush Rocket Raccoon for $15.
Wow.
This is not brought to you by Disney Store.
It sounded like you had a little stroke in the middle of that.
Yeah, I was laughing.
Okay.
Laughing at your own joke. Yep, I'm used to working with you, Lil.
Oh.
I gotta jump off and get the Indian food. So I can't wait to hear the rest of this podcast later. And it's been great talking to you all.
So we're losing Charlie Esser.
Yes, Churlish Charlie Esser.
Churlish.
Yes,
don't call me Charlie.
Charming and.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie. It's been fun having you part of the NSU. We have a new name, Lil.
I love being part of the NSU, and can't wait to do more later.
Yeah. So, listen to Super Connectivity. It was awesome this last week. It's always awesome, and you and Phil do a great job. And then, are we ever going to see a blog post again?
Yeah, I have to do that
eventually.
Yeah, when I worked the night job, life was so much easier. I had so much more free time. Now that I work a day job, it's like I lost all my time. I don't know where it all went.
You know what? Don't worry about it. Keep pumping out those podcasts, and we'll find ways to fill some blog space in there. The other thing is, I'm going to throw this out there to you, Charlie and Phil, and Lil. You and I talked about it a little bit. We have a new show we're doing at Live at the Blue Box called This Week in Geek, where we kind of run down the geek news, and we've got a new blog for it. I wrote the first entry. I'm not planning on writing every single entry, so if you want to do even a short little news blurb, send it over. We'll pop it in there to This Week in Geek.
Sounds good.
And that can be anything from 100 words to whatever you want. It's just kind of a little news thing. So shameless plug.
Okay, see you all next week.
Thanks, Charlie.
See you, Charlie.
Later, Charlie.
Wow, we're going to sit here in silence. Charlie talks so much. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of like riding a bucking bronco. You just got to let him go.
That's why we love him. He goes. He's awesome. So, what haven't we talked about, Phil? You've been on the whole time.
Let's see. We talked Secret Wars. We talked Agent Carter.
Lil, what do you think of this? As long as we got you, all that news that broke about the Secret Wars and Marvel Universe ending. You got any thoughts on this? And do you think it's going to affect the MCU, or is it something separate?
It's not going to affect the MCU right off the bat. Just because I don't think I think they would love to do I would love to see them do a Secret Wars.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if that's what we're leading to in 2029? Is
You take Infinity War bleeds into Secret Wars.
Oh my gosh, that'd be
You
crazy.
get the Beyonder. I would be just.
That would be crazy.
I think I would die at that point. 29.
Let's mark that down on the calendar.
If it's that far in the future, you might even be able to get Spider-Man. Maybe they can buy back Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Well,
they won't have to buy back the Fantastic Four. That's going to be given back after
I think if we play our cards right,
pick it up.
I think if we play our cards right, Southgate Media Group will be able to get Fantastic Four for about $40. So
sweet.
Yeah, it's coming soon. Coming soon from Southgate Media Group. Roger Corbin's Fantastic Four 2.
Yes. So speaking of that, we're reviewing that on my podcast, The League Geeks, this weekend.
Shameless plug. Yeah.
Oh, we are reviewing it. You can actually watch the entire movie on YouTube.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
I did not know that because I was starting to search for it. Then I found it on YouTube, and I'm like,
it's there.
Holy cow! I almost bought this movie a dozen times. From people in back rooms of Comic Cons for like $30.
Right.
And
not necessary.
Now it's free on YouTube.
And you know what? The quality on YouTube is actually as good or better than what most of those DVDs you buy from the back room at a Comic Con. So
I figured. And that's why I remember one time telling the guy, "Can you put it in? Let me just see what it looks like." And then literally just putting my money back in my pocket and walking away. It's like, how can I do that? Like, I can't spend the money on quality.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. You're going to enjoy it, though, if you haven't watched the show. It's a good one. I mean, it is what it is. For what it is, it's a good one. And I think it's going to be better than the thing we're about to get.
I've watched the first half, and hopefully I plan on finishing it tonight. It just got late last night, and I was enjoying it. Let's just put it this way: it was a lot of laughs, like bad movies.
Yeah,
it is 1990 Captain America, or if you go to the even further back, all the 70s
Spider-Man stuff. Woo!
Yeah, the Spider-Man, the Captain America from there, which I have that on DVD. The Captain America live action TV show movies.
Yeah,
I own those, and my wife thinks I'm just nuts because I love watching them. Or if you watch David Hasselhoff's Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's what they need to do is when they dissolve the Marvel thing and, rebirth it and take the fan favorites, bring in the Hoff, bring in Dolph Lundgren's Punisher, have that come in. Oh, that would be too much.
Can you imagine, because they said that Doctor Strange is going to open up alternate universes. Could you imagine if we got little, cut scenes of all those movies?
Oh, Dolph Lundgren and the Hoff.
What is the 86 Howard the Duck just flying through somewhere?
Oh.
I mean, you get Dolph Lundgren's Punisher. I mean, you get everything.
It would be, my mind would blow up. That would be it. I'd be done. Mark this day down. That's the day I'm done.
I think if Marvel pulled that off, I mean, it would be the biggest inside joke that would spin off. I don't know, so much goodwill and karma for everybody. I mean, because everybody would get a huge kick out of it. They can make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
For what came out of the past.
Well, they showed Howard the Duck at the end of Guardians.
Well, exactly. I mean, we got that, and it's.
Which is crazy.
Now I want more. I was the only thing that they screwed up with that is they should have given us the original Howard the Duck, and I don't know if they could have. I don't know if there was some kind of rights issues. Although there shouldn't be because they basically own Lucasfilm. Yeah,
right.
So
yeah, but you know what? I think going forward, if they wanted to do anything with Howard the Duck, they had to do a redesign. They couldn't use that one that Ed Gale played because. That doesn't fly now.
Yeah, well, pun intended.
Actually, no pun intended. Believe it or not, that wouldn't work. So I think they had to do that. But like you said, if Doctor Strange is opening these portals and we see that Howard the Duck, the Ed Gale Howard the Duck, kind of float by,
or even and they give me alternate Spider-Mans, you get Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man, Lou Ferrigno pops in there. Oh my god,
that would do it right there. That's what I want to see is Lou Ferrigno, just some type of as the Hulk cameo. Oh my god!
Did you see the Doctor Strange TV movie? Because they wanted to make that series also. It's on YouTube, the entire film.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's on there. The guy's got the greatest mustache ever as Doctor Strange.
Wow.
But yeah,
they showed
him. Oh, I can't remember his name. It's it's nobody that I think anybody's ever seen.
Okay.
It is like a psychedelic 70s movie though.
Oh,
Like you got to watch it. Just YouTube it. It's
I will.
there, the full movie. I think it's an hour and a half.
Wow.
Isn't it the
I
same-
got to do that.
Isn't it the same guy who's going to star in Spider-Man 68?
Shh, we don't
That
talk
would
about
be
Spider-Man
awesome.
68. It's like Fight Club. We don't talk about it. Oh man. Oh, that'd be awesome.
So
And I wonder
mean,
if they bring Nick Cage back in too.
Yeah.
He makes a cameo as Ghost Rider. The only other time we see him as Ghost Rider is going to be in this little thing as he's flashing by and he's like, hey, doing his laugh.
Hey, that might work in Doctor Strange.
You just have everything. I mean, I would love it because they do own it. So why not?
Why not?
And just show Elektra and Daredevil, just kind of scene out of that movie and just have them in the background.
Have Ben Affleck as Daredevil float by because they own it. That would be, as he's Batman, you also see him as Daredevil. That would be fantastic.
I think that would be the biggest kick to the DC teeth as you can have.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Like
Yeah.
we own your Batman.
We own your
in our movie.
Batman. Yep. Before he was Batfleck, he was Batdevil or Fleck Devil. What would he be? Affleck.
Yeah, he's not the Duck. Yeah. No, but going to what the comics are doing. I mean, don't they always do something like this? I don't know.
Well, supposedly this is supposed to be like a big one, like the DC.
This is
New
like
50.
But didn't they already
DC.
do that with the Marvel Now? I mean, I know I've been in and
Yeah, but they're
out of the
burning it
comics
all
a lot.
down. So Marvel Now didn't burn down the 616 and it didn't burn down Ultimates. They still are producing those books.
Yeah.
This is burning it all down. It's taking everything that happened before and saying that chapter is done. No more stories in these universes. Now we have something new.
I think they're doing it to make the comics like really like reflect the MCU really closely.
Yeah,
I
but
think it's
if
creating
they're
synergy
doing that, then they're losing a lot of their big titles in the comics because they don't have Spider-Man in the MCU.
Yeah, but I mean they could throw in X-Men and Spider-Man, but what it would be like if they were in the movie.
Haven't we talked about Spider-Man a few times a little?
And this is where I
He's
come
not
in on the
there yet.
conversation.
Exactly. Hey, Jack, welcome to the party.
Of course, Jack's here now.
Jack.
Oh
Spider-Man,
Lord,
Spider-Man.
he comes in at the right time.
Yep. So
No, but I'm not
Allison.
getting into the Spider-Man talk. But
well,
I'm just
okay,
saying,
wait. I do want to bring up a Spider-Man thing, and we won't fall into that hole. We do it every time. But if we're talking what we think they're doing, one of the things I've heard is they may not own Spider-Man, but by doing this, they can bring in the what's his name, Morales Spider-Man potentially
Morales, yeah.
into the MCU, and it would be a way to do it logically without. I mean, you're starting something new.
I think that's what they're doing because they said they're mashing up the regular Marvel universe and the Ultimate line.
So now if they do that, suddenly it's like, yeah, how much ball do they have to play if it's not Peter Parker in that universe?
Well, there's two of them.
Right.
I
There's
don't know.
potential there.
There's
Oh,
potential. As much as I enjoyed Miles Morales as Ultimate Spider-Man, and I think it's a cool concept. I think he's a good character, and I think from what I'm reading, he's the only surviving Ultimate Universe character
Oh,
that's
really?
going to make it.
I think
I
that's
didn't
it.
read that.
Well, no, they said his book is going to be the only Ultimate book that like comes out of this, I guess.
Yeah, like I don't even know if it'll be Ultimate. It just might be Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because his character has done really well and transcended.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people love Spider-Man so much, because behind the mask, you don't know who he is.
Right.
You don't know what he is. You just know what he stands for.
Right.
But if they bring him and they're able to use him in the real MCU, and that's the Spider-Man I get, I think I would be heartbroken.
Instead of Peter Parker.
Yes, because to me, it's even when they killed off Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe, like I'm tearing up right now. No, I'm not really, but like I was.
Yes, you are.
I was shocked. I mean, it was tough. And then that last panel with like the Ghost Peter walking away with Ghost Ben, I was like, holy crap, I can't deal with it. And I almost did buy Miles Morales, but I gave it a shot, and it was good. But I can't. Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
So,
Yeah.
Jack, you heard all this news this week, right? Did we lose you, Jack?
I think he hung up. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Talk
just for a
Spider-Man,
second.
done."
Say again?
I said, did you read all this news about what Marvel's doing, right?
Yes. The thing about the Spider-Man, it isn't. They're not going to use the current Spider-Man because I guess he made Sony mad. And
No, that's not what we're talking about. But yeah, that was there too. No, about how they announced that with Secret Wars in, what is it, May?
Oh, right,
that
and also, the
everything's done.
they're closing down the Marvel universe and like total reboot.
Yeah.
So is that like, are they going to tie that in with the movie with Civil War, and is that all going to be done at the same time, you think?
Well, that's what we were saying. I don't think so at all. I don't think that it's going to tie in that respect. I do think, and this is what we were talking about earlier, I think that they're going to realign the books with the MCU a little bit better so that when you do have like an Agent Carter story, it's the Agent Carter basically from the MCU, as opposed to now where if Agent Carter shows up, it's a completely different story.
Right. Well, and you conveniently eliminate
Making the movies canon and the rest of it what is floating around that.
Well, and you conveniently eliminate all these instances where people will start to argue with, well, you can't do that because this conflicts with year 3 and year 15 and the Blue series from 1978. Whereas now you go, well, it's all done. It's a new, now whatever we're creating a whole new history.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting, but I think in a way I think it kind of, well, I guess it frees them up from the history, but it's kind of a shame in that, because you do have a lot of people that have invested a lot of time and energy in knowing all that stuff. But
see, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's kind of like having a book. I think you've taken a what is it, 70-year book, and you're closing the book and saying, we've got this to play in, we've got a sandbox, but we're gonna shake it up and try something different. Marvel, I remember back in the 80s they tried the new universe. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And that was a fail because they were trying to build something. Oh, do you think they're going to have that in Secret Wars? Oh my gosh. Because that's where Spider-Man 2099 came from, wasn't it?
No, because that was 80s. I think Spider-Man 2099 was like early 90s.
I think it was 94.
Are you sure? Because I remember there was that weird Hulk guy. You remember the Hulk guy that they had? And they had a team that was kind of like the Fantastic Four. Is this ringing a bell with anybody?
No.
No.
They had 2099 versions of them, but yeah, no, I don't think they were two separate.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going back to, I'm going to try and look it up here. I thought it was like the late 80s. It might have been the 1990s. But they did a thing called the New Universe where what they did was they said, okay, here's Earth, and basically there are no mutants or anything, and there's something that happens that causes
there was like
heroes.
some come out, what was it, the white event in space or something? And
Yes.
Well, 2099 came out in 92.
Okay.
I just looked it up.
Okay, I thought he was part of that new thing. That's when they launched that, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, no, I don't think the new universe. I don't think they had any characters that were similar to what they had before.
Well, no, they were reflections of them for sure.
Yeah,
because,
but I don't think they had anyone actually sharing the name, Spider-Man or.
Well, where did he come from then? Because I thought that he was part of something they did. Did they do an initiative where they had like a line of future books or something? Yeah,
they had a line of books that were all from in 2099. It was Spider-Man, X-Men, Punisher,
Ghost Rider.
Doom.
Yeah, they had a whole bunch. Yeah, Doom 2099.
Okay, so that's what that was. I'm just getting it confused. What a shocker. Okay, here it is. I just found it. It was in 1986. It was called The New Universe. It says the New Universe hit the ground running with 8 monthly titles. DP7. That sounds like something that you'd be into a little. Justice.
What does that mean exactly?
I mean, it's explicit.
Double play.
Let me
baseball.
I'll Skype that to you. Kickers Inc., which sounds so lame. Kickers Inc. might be the worst thing ever. Mark Hazard, Merc, Night Mask, Cyforce. Now, Cyforce I actually thought was really cool. Do you remember Cyforce? Didn't they go on and become part of Marvel?
I don't think anything you're talking about went on to be
Starbrand.
The only thing
I got the best one. Wait, don't interrupt. It's the last one. Spitfire and the Troubleshooters. Yeah.
Yeah, who was making these titles? It wasn't Marvel. It was somebody else. Must have been.
Starbrand by Jim Shooter, John Romita Jr.
Wow.
Yeah. It says Starbrand, most successful of the comic line, and and Mark Grunwald and Paul Ryan put in a valiant effort with DP7, but the rest of them were boring, pointless, and directionless. Yeah, except for Kickers Inc. and DP7. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Starbrand maybe bled over a little bit into the Marvel universe, because I know a bunch of that showed up in Quasar, and now I think isn't Starbrand in one of the Avengers titles.
I'm telling you right now,
they're saying that I'm reading about this right now. Like everything from this line died in '89.
Really?
Yeah. And
I wonder if they're worth anything, because I have all the number ones from those.
50 cents, maybe.
I wish they'd do a toy line. I'd be all about that.
Make the movies.
You know what? I wonder if we can get those.
Disney might.
Maybe we can get those cheap.
Disney owns them all now.
Oh, would that be awesome?
Maybe they'll show up in Doctor Strange.
You totally got to look these up, because they were completely terrible, but they were really bizarre and awesome.
I'm looking at a picture of them right now, and
they're just all terrible. There was a Hulk guy.
With the big red beard?
Yes!
Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. It looks terrible, man. There's like a wannabe Iron Man who's huge with like a TV face.
All right, I'm pulling these up. DP7. DP7 was like the X-Men. That's what that was supposed to be.
Displaced Paranormal 7. That's what it stands for. Not what you think, Jack.
They were the answer to the X-Men, and they were lame.
Are you saying that Alil can only be into like real lame stuff?
Yes.
Or just because he's displaced?
Okay, wait a minute. And then what was it? That wasn't the one. I just looked at him. That is not the one. And I'm telling you, I thought Cyforce did something. Let me see if I can find it.
The only thing I recognize from that whole list is Merc. And I don't know why.
Because you're thinking of Deadpool.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
That's what you're thinking of, Jack. I'm telling you.
I don't know Deadpool. I really don't. The only that I'm telling you, something from that, I know Merc, but
yeah, well,
it's weird. It's like some weird flashback, and
I don't think it's this. I really don't. This is the worst. Do you remember? I remember another one that Marvel had. It was. Do you remember? Was it called Crystar? I got into a conversation with Dave today, the guy from 80s Reboot. We were talking about some of these Marvel titles from the 80s. We didn't talk about this, though, and I'm really sorry I didn't, because now I'm like falling deep into it. Do you remember when they did the Micronauts line?
Yes. That, believe it or not, I do.
I do believe it.
I have a bunch of those books still.
Those are really good books. That's one line that I really wish that as Marvel gets deeper into some of these things, that they look at that line and say, this is a franchise waiting to happen.
I can't believe you're talking 80s comics and you haven't mentioned Rom yet.
You know what?
We talked about that before.
Yeah, I'm all about Rom.
You bring it up.
I'm all about Rom. And you know what? I think Rom should totally show up. Now, Marvel doesn't own Rom. That's why James Gunn said he would love to put Rom in Guardians, and he can't. But I wonder who owns the Micronauts, because I would love to see that relaunched. And I think you've got a whole universe you can play with there. I wish they'd do something with this new universe, like actually like do something with it.
It could be the next Guardians of the Galaxy,
based on comics that nobody ever wanted to read.
Yeah, it could do it.
I'm telling you, this. You know what? The guy with the beard, I don't think was the Hulk guy. The Hulk guy, he looked like the Hulk. He was all hairy, but he had like man, Starbrand looks exactly like Star-Lord. This looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, man. Look at it. It even looks like Nova Corps. That is so weird, man. Wait a minute. I think they had toys.
No way.
Yes. Oh no, it says custom. Gray Fox did custom action figures of the of Starbrand. Starbrand. What an awesome name. What a terrible name at the same time.
I think this whole era, I think that's probably what put a damper on a lot of my Marvel activities, because there's this whole era where it's just nothing tied together or made sense, and things died as fast as they started.
Yeah, well, this was a weird time. When you talk 80s comics, this was a very weird time. Early 80s is when you had Micronauts and Rom, and the Star Wars comics were really popular, and their superhero stuff was kind of waning. And then it went into the whole superhero craze when the Spider-Man books were really hot, and then Mark, I'm drawing a blank. This is the worst. When he did Daredevil, what's his name? Frank Miller did Daredevil.
Yeah.
That was when it all kind of came back to superheroes, and stuff like the Micronauts disappeared. But there was a short bit in there when they were trying to do anything they could to reignite interest, and that's when this awful New Universe line came out. I wonder if Nightmask is supposed to be their answer to Batman.
I think he's I'm not too familiar, but I think he's more like Sleepwalker. I don't know if he goes into people's dreams and stuff.
Oh, you think? He looks like Nightwing.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, I'm looking up Mark Hazard Merc now. These are all just awful.
We are down the rabbit hole.
Oh, we are down the rabbit hole. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NSU.
It sounds like a college football team.
NSU? Oh,
Yeah.
You have to look up Mark Hazard Merc. It is the comic book version of MacGyver meets the A-Team. It's fantastic. It is.
That's probably why it's like the one random thing I remember. That just sounds awesome.
Issue 2 has a picture of a guy. It's Mark Hazard, Merc, just to be clear, kneeling on a pitcher's mound, shooting some kind of big red ridiculous gun with like little league players running in the background. It's fantastic.
It's like an accident waiting to happen.
It's so great. It reminds me of, I have a story. When, the Field of Dreams, right? Well, the actual house for the Field of Dreams is in Iowa. And we were driving through Iowa and we saw that it was there. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got to go. And Martha's like, yeah, we got to go. That'd be awesome. So we go to the Field of Dreams house. And it's just like the movie when you get there. It's just crazy. Awesome. And I'm not a baseball guy, but I love that movie. And we're sitting there at the baseball field. And I'm like, oh, man, how cool would it be to like throw a ball around here or something? Even though, like I said, you know what? I played baseball on my Atari, and that was about it. That's where it ended.
I want to see you throw a baseball. We're gonna put this on the YouTube channel.
I'm not as bad as you think, Alil. But anyway, this guy and his friend pull up. They've got their sons, and they start like playing ball on the field. And I'm like, that's awesome. And I must have been like glowing and gushy over there. And the guy comes up, he's like, do you want to pitch off the mound? And I was like, what? And he goes, I'll catch. You want to pitch one? I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So here we go. So I go out to the mound and I'm standing there. I'm like butterflies. I'm nervous. I feel like throwing out the first pitch at a Yankees game or something, like the world is watching. And it's really just Martha, her friend, and this guy and his kids. Okay. So I throw the first ball. I get it to him. I'm not saying it was pretty, but I get it to him. He throws it back to me, and I'm like, wow. And I go, okay, thanks. He goes, no, man, here, throw it. Here. And he's like, just throw a couple more. He said, enjoy yourself. I'm like, okay. As I'm throwing the second one, his stupid kid walks in front of it, and I bean the kid right in the head. The kid starts crying. The dad stands up. It's like almost like abusive dad time. He starts yelling at the kid like, what the hell are you doing? I turn to my wife. I'm like, it's like a Norman Rockwell painting that's like got set on fire right here. And it's all because of my terrible pitching. So yeah, there's my Mark Hazard Merc moment.
Well, thank you for that.
I can't believe that there's no reaction. It's like the most embarrassing, awful story.
I thought the kid would turn around and say, that's all you got.
Oh.
No, it wasn't. No, I beamed the kid. I made a kid cry. I hit him with a baseball off a pitcher's mound. I want to see what Kicker's Inc. is. This has to be just awful. Hero Rebirth. Okay, the guy. Okay. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. Please look it up. Kickers Inc. #1. It looks like they're in white and blue outfits. I don't know what team. I think they're supposed to be. I don't know what team they are. Nope. I got a better one. Please look up Kickers Inc. Marvel issue 2 and look at the freaking robot that's attacking them. Please look it up. It's the most amazing thing ever. So I'm sure they were trying to capitalize on like people were into football and stuff. I think that's what that was about. Are you guys with me on this, or am I just like falling out a rabbit hole without you?
I think we're looking up.
Yeah, I want to see what this looks like.
Yeah, look up issue 2. It's the greatest. The robot is the greatest thing ever. And be careful if you type in Justice and you don't type in Marvel because a Janet Jackson movie comes up. No one wants to see.
That's what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Control.
Okay, Justice looks lame. He looks like he's supposed to be Captain America and or their version of Superman. Okay, that's lame. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lame. Did we look up Spitfire yet? I'm looking it up. What a great podcast. We're just sitting here looking stuff up on the internet. You know what? I am going to go to my garage tomorrow and dig out my long boxes, and I have all these new universe books up to a point.
Dude, that robot is Gyromite, or the
Yes!
Gyro robot from Nintendo.
Yes!
Like Gyro the Robot or something from the Gyro Bite game, I think.
And how they screwed this up, this is the character that needs to come back. Look up Spitfire and the Troubleshooters and tell me it is not like that somebody wasn't inspired for Big Hero 6. This character is awesome. I'm all about this. Too bad the books are terrible.
Are you all about that bass?
I'm all about the bass.
Oh yeah, he does like it's
You could cosplay him,
Baymax.
Alil.
Yeah, he's a big robot. I could put a red suit on.
You could cosplay him. Oh, yeah. The new universe. Marvel's new universe. I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing Sexy back first. Then I'm bringing back the Marvel new universe. I've got a whole agenda for the summer.
Coming next week. The new universe.
I was gonna
podcast.
say I'm gonna be gone this summer.
Right.
If you're bringing Sexy back, I might have to be somewhere else.
Yeah. Gross.
I want to know if you ever got to sexy in the first place. How are you going to bring it back?
It's my version of it.
Yeah, that's like late 80s Marvel right there.
Yeah. Okay. $20.99. Now I got to look down this rabbit hole because if there was a whole series of books of $20.99, well, there's Punisher, there's Ghost Rider, Doom $20.99. Why is nothing happening with this? There's the Hulk. The Hulk $20.99 is the one I was talking about where he had the big claws.
It's all about the Hulk.
I had all these too.
The series didn't do well. The only character that came out of it that
Was Spider-Man.
is Spider-Man, which I love. I have some artwork of his in
That Spider-Man
my office.
$20.99 was a great book. And didn't they do a cartoon series of that?
No, they did kind of like a hybrid called Spider-Man Unlimited,
Yes.
which they only had 12 episodes of.
Was it good?
And no, it used to be on. I think it might still be on YouTube. I've seen the whole series, and it's. I don't know. I think they just crammed something together because they needed to fill a Spider-Man void.
You know what? When Marvel finally wisens up and hires us to do Spider-Man 68, we are going to do the fringe Marvel stuff. We are going to work with them on launching this Spider-Man $20.99. You know what? If you look, there's an Inhumans $20.99, the Marvel Knights series, Marvel Knights $20.99.
Well, Spider-Man $20.99 is out again.
There's
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
there's a book
I
out
just
now,
read
yeah.
it. He's tied
Punisher-
into the
Punisher
Spider-Verse
$20.99.
that's going on right now.
Yeah, to be honest, though, if they actually hired us for that, it would look like Gumby and Pokey.
Oh, yeah, it would be terrible.
We
But
would
I think
need
that's
real
the
artists.
It'd be like claymation stop
I think that's the
motion.
key, Jack.
It would be terrible.
No, I know what we need to do. We need to write a script that incorporates these $20.99. No, first we need to do the new universe. We need to get one of our guys on this, somebody that can write a script. Jeff, you can write scripts and write a story based in the new universe, but make it really funny, like Archer in the $20.99 or in the Marvel new universe with those characters, and we get Israel to make a stop motion short in that universe. That will do it. We will have a TV show.
Can we get Scarlett Johansson
And
in on this?
it'll be the first. It'll be the
Just
first.
asking.
Yes, Jack. It'll be the first time. Just like it'll be the first entry into the NSU.
Well, if we want to save money, no Scarlett Johansson, just Jack in a wig.
No,
and
no. We're gonna.
outfit.
We're just gonna find
No,
somebody
it's got to
named
be
Scarlett Johansson.
I can't budge on that one. I'm sorry.
Jack, I've seen you in emotion. I don't think you can budge on much.
Wow.
Yeah.
You haven't seen my shirt lately.
Oh man, I'm full of mean tonight too. I think it's because I'm all whipped
Speaking
up.
of-
There's a Black
speaking
Panther
of
$20.99 too.
Yeah, there's X-Men $20.99, Ghost Rider $20.99.
Okay, before we convince them to do $20.99, we need to make our stop motion new universe. It needs to happen, and I want to see that big red robot. Oh, it's so awesome.
And you can do that with iPhones now. They have that like time lapse thing going on. We could
this
we could
week,
do this.
Molly, Jack, we can. Let's do it.
You know it's possible.
Let's do it. No, Israel makes stop motion for us. Let's get him to do it.
Dude, that would be awesome.
One of the characters is going to sound like Phil, and it's going to say Gotham. That would be awesome. Can you do it, Phil, please?
Here comes Gotham.
Come on.
I want to be like
Nothing,
Kermit
huh?
I want to be
Gotham.
Kermit. I want to be Kermit the Frog does Spider-Man.
Jack, every character, you're going to do a voice, and every character is going to sound like Kermit the Frog. So
I know, right?
I just said Kermit the Frog. That's
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of licensing. Disney comes after you if you say Kermit.
That's true.
He's
Is it
the-
Disney
he's the
or
Russian
no, it
version.
wouldn't be Disney?
No, Disney owns Muppets.
Really?
The only thing Disney doesn't own at this point is the NSU. Thank you.
Actually, they're probably in talks right now.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
They sent
Boy.
you a check for a quarter.
Yeah. We're like, wait, is that $250,000? No, idiot.
Quarter. And we own
25
110% of the rights. In fact, you have to pay us royalties.
And now we call it the NSU New Universe, and we brought on DP7 Alil. Alil's DP 2099.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I'm all excited. I want like football jerseys that say NSU.
You know what? We got to make that happen. How cool is that?
Sell them.
How cool is that? I love it. And then we can have the NSU 2099. I think that's cool. Wait, you know what? Let's just do everything, and we'll just label it NSU and just steal everything from Marvel with that. I'm sure they won't mind.
Not at all. Not at all.
And Phil, you're going to make a cameo in everything, and people are going to think you're the new Stan Lee.
Okay, Excelsior.
Excelsior. I love it. At the end of your Marvel review podcast, you're always like, "This is Agent Phil." No, you say Special Agent or Secret Agent. It's Secret Agent.
I switch
isn't
it up sometimes. I think.
I think it's funny though. I always enjoy it, and then you're like, checking in for from the Nuff Said universe. Nuff
Oh yeah,
said.
I always end with Nuff said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love that. Okay, well, you know what? Now that we've fallen down that rabbit hole, I'm sure no one's going to want to listen to this half of the discussion. Does anyone else have anything else they want to bring up? Because we're just about out of time here.
No, I'm just going to go home and rehearse Kermit the Frog does Spider-Man.
You can be Spider-Ham. You know what? If somebody makes a Spider-Ham cartoon, Jack, you are the voice.
My web is a little clogged.
Sounds personal.
Piggy? It's Piggy.
Oh man.
They killed Miss Piggy. Oh no.
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham. All right, are we
I
done?
love that comic.
So do I. I have the first issue, the What If, that had Spider-Ham the first time. I loved it.
Yeah, he's a secret love of mine, and then the fact that they've used him in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, I went crazy on that episode.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. When he's in the Spider-Verse too, so
Yeah,
I have to
and
read those. I haven't read any of that.
Yeah, I just picked it all up and started reading it, and it's actually pretty good.
You know what? I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have another episode when it's not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., when it's not Agent Carter, and when we're not doing one of the movies, where we just, kind of like what we just did, but we're all going to come with our A game, talk about these weird 80s Marvel books, because there are so many weird ones.
Everyone.
I don't think I have an A game. Can I bring
Jack,
like somebody else's A game?
Yeah, Jack, that's not an A game, that's an A.
Hey.
Oh.
You know what? That's going to be edited out.
That's a tender spot.
I was
Glad
looking
I was
for a
able to
compliment
raise
there.
the level of that conversation.
No.
Oh man, now we're back to his ball sack.
Yeah, rooting it out.
I love this.
Hey,
I
I didn't bring it up. Thank you.
Yeah,
I finally get to
That
hear
was
an uncensored
DP7
Nuff said.
Alil.
yeah. Phil, you have stepped behind the curtain. Now you know what happens on Nuff Said.
Yeah, the show's 45 minutes, but it's us doing this for 30 before we start recording.
Yeah.
If you donate for that premium service, you're gonna get stuff you may probably wish you hadn't.
You're going to be so sorry.
And the doctor can't cure it either.
That's
Well,
right.
Is that going to be the premium show? Like all six of us talking about bad Marvel projects?
You know what? Don't spoil it. We want people to pay for that Patreon account.
I was gonna
And
say,
this is
that's
where
the
you find
show.
that Alil is actually related to Doctor Strange.
Oh, ooh, a lil.
A
I
little
wish.
strange.
Well, it's my uncle. He's kind of strange. So
Way to throw him under the bus, a lil.
exactly.
Drunk uncle.
All right, I'm ending this one. Let me do a little business here. You can find past episodes that are probably more listenable than this, where we don't just look at the internet, at our website, which is www.southgatemediagroup.com. We have 3 shows on this feed. We have Nuff Said. We have the Marvel Review with Phil, which he talks out the comics each week, which I love. I find myself listening and not having to read every book, and I know what we're doing now, which is pretty amazing. And then also Super Connectivity with Charlie and Phil. You can follow us on Twitter at Nuff Said Pod. You can follow me at our Southgate. Let's go around the horn here. Jack, what are you at?
I'm at Jay Wengroski.
Okay. And Phil, you're at
Nightwing PDP.
And Phil, just to throw this out, well, wait, Jack, you're on the Blacklist podcast and on Nuff Said, and when we do an Input Junkie that's not live, you're on that.
That's
Phil,
true.
what shows are you on? You're on like half the shows now.
Who, me?
You, yeah.
Your name's Phil.
I didn't hear the fill. Okay, I'm on Before the Bat, the Gotham podcast.
Yeah, that's a great show, by the way.
You just like to hear me say Gotham.
I do. I love it. But I do love the show. I love what you do on there.
Thanks. And the Flash Arrow Power Hour.
Great show again.
And, well, you already mentioned Super Connectivity.
Yep, and on this. And then you also write a couple of blogs for us.
Yes.
Bat Fan Cave and Flash Arrow. And then Alil, let's hear your Twitter and what else you got going on.
My shameless plugs. I'm at LOGEEKZ, and that stands for the League of Geeks podcast, which is another podcast I do, and that's Geeks with a Z. I'm also on Nuff Said. I also do stuff live at the Blue Box. And
Yeah, you do.
This Week in Geek at the Blue Box, and yeah, that's I think that's about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, Alil wormed his way in from being a super fan and sending me a couple of tweets to now you're on half the shows also, so that's what happens. But it's just great. And Alil, you're joining us on panels, and if anyone is going to the Madison Wizard World in February, come see us. We're definitely going to be doing a panel for basically geeking your kids. And hopefully Alil will be out there. It sounds like you are. And then we're also going to be doing a special party at a coffee shop there. So watch our Twitter, watch our Facebook page for details about that. That's going to be limited to 30 people that can get in. And with, I think, 5 or 6 of us on the panel, that's limiting the amount of people we can get into like 25. So watch Twitter. And, I got one more thing.
Oop.
Somebody's, first of all, making a lot of noise in the background.
That would be me.
There we go. Doing a little drying, Jack?
A little driving.
Driving, not drying. Okay, let me just throw this out there. We have some new things that we're talking about. One thing is we want to have some I'm not going to call them contests, but for when we put out a show, we tweet it out, and the person who retweets it the most, we're thinking about doing some no prizes like Marvel gives out. So that's something that's coming. We haven't established that yet, but get in the habit early. When this show goes out, retweet it, send it out, try to make some noise with it. And the person who we see doing the most tweeting will definitely get a shout out on the show. But we're also talking about doing no prizes. So sign up for our email list. Just go to our website, and on any page, the email list is there. Just sign up, and you can even say in the notes section, I'm a Nuff Said fan. Then we know where it came from. I think that's it. Is everybody done?
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right. That's
I'm
it,
done.
everybody. All right. Way to chime in at the last second, a little. That's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Nuff Said.
Enough said.
I've said.